We welcome you to Phillies Post-Game Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Bottalico, I'm Michael Barkan. In a moment, Ben Davis from the yard in Washington. So let's figure this out, Ricky Bo. They take 2 of 4 from Atlanta. They take 2 of 3 from Washington, and they get swept by the Mets. I mean, call me crazy, but if they had taken 1 game from the Mets, we'd be saying right now, a road trip wasn't bad. 5-5 road trip. Instead, 11-3 win today, 4-6 road trip. Put this in some perspective.
They beat a bad team the last 2 days, and they should beat this team. You know what? Sometimes baseball is about righting yourself and the right team being in front of you. These last 2 days, you had the right team in front of you. You had the Washington Nationals. On paper, they're nowhere near as good. Yeah, the Nationals snuck one in on Friday. The Phillies shut that completely down. And what you're supposed to do to teams like this is beat the daylights out of them like you did today. So they did what they were supposed to do in this one. I can't dismiss the Mets series because of the sole fact that they haven't beaten the Mets in a series in over a year. So that to me is an issue still. Okay, fine, the 2-2-2 with the Braves, I don't have a problem with. But you have to beat these teams. You have to win this series that you just won. They did the job, and they did it in fashion today. This is what you want to see more of. This type of offense is beautiful.
Let's go down to Ben Davis at Nationals Park. Call today's game with Tom McCarthy. Ben, there are wins, then there are statement wins when you beat a team as lowly as Washington. I don't know if you can make that claim after a game like today's, but it still was an 11-3 win. Ranger Suárez pitching great, two-run home runs from Drew Ellis and Kyle Schwarber. It's a great win to have, but as Ricky just said, Washington's not very good. Your thoughts on it?
I don't care that Washington's not very good. That's their problem. The Phillies went out there and dominated today. Ranger was excellent, and they needed him. Let's face the facts. After yesterday, with all those guys coming out of the bullpen, it was a bullpen game. They needed Ranger to go out there. He gave him 7 strong innings. He was dominant. Just gave up the 1 run. He was awesome, and exactly what the Phillies needed to give them a little bit of rest heading back home down there in the bullpen. Drew Ellis had himself a career day, and it's not going to be easy to top that one for him. But nice to talk to him. He was a very confident young man, and obviously they needed him today. And Rob Thomson's penciled him in there for a reason, and that's because he was swinging a hot bat in the minor leagues. I know it's the minor leagues, but he seemed to have carried that up here to the big league level. And Kyle Schwarber, it's June, baby. It's June. I don't know what else to say about him. He's staying behind it a little bit more, and it's also that like he's not trying to feel for it. He said that to us on the post-game show yesterday. He's just not. He had fastballs to hit in hitters' counts. He's been fouling them over the first base dugout. He's getting his barrel to the baseball now and really driving it. But the swing looks like he's got a little bit more conviction in it right now. Not that he's over swinging, but it just seems like he's getting the barrel there a little quicker.
Ben, the reason I asked you about Washington, and I understand your point. You only can play who you can play. I get it. But you want to hold the Phillies record and the Phillies performance up to the light and make sure that it can withstand whatever comes their way. Detroit's coming in tomorrow. Then the Dodgers come in at the end of the week. And, we keep asking whether or not they turned a corner. These were 2 solid wins for them.
They were 2 solid wins, and you're right. You can only play what's on your schedule. But I do like the fact that I said on the broadcast towards the end that it's the way they went about the last couple games. Their situational hitting was good. Their 2-strike approach was outstanding. That is something that can carry over in future ball games. So as long as they keep that approach and not, sometimes you just got to put a ball in play, and then good things happen. The approach was a lot better today. They were able to manufacture a couple runs, and that is something that can carry over to future series.
Yeah, and you get all those Jimmy Jacks, man. That's pretty good. You can't get enough Jimmy Jacks. I'll tell you that.
You can never have enough Jimmy Jacks. I mean, Ricky, you know.
I do know.
Exactly. All right, buddy. We'll see you when you get home. Thanks so much, Benny.
All right,
Always
boys.
appreciate it. Ben Davis joining us from the booth in D.C. inside the box score of an 11-3 Phillies win over the Washington Nationals. Schwarber 2 hits and 2 home runs. Castellanos 3 for 5. He's batting .317. Harper had a hit. Turner, Ricky, Trey Turner, nowhere to be found. still, now 2 days in a row batting in the cleanup spot.
You had four guys in the lineup who are on base at least 3 times. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, it doesn't have to be via the hit. I mean, you can get on with walks, hit by pitches, whatever way you're getting on base is fine. Yeah, there were a couple guys in the lineup. Trey Turner did not look very good today. He's down to, 232 now. Brandon Marsh didn't have a great game. But you know what, I always talk about depth and what that really means to a ball club. And, the unsung heroes on certain days. I'm going to bring up 2 guys. Number one, I'm bringing up Cody Clemens. He's been a nice little addition to this team. He's batting over 250 right now. I don't think anybody expected that from him. He's showing a little bit of pop. The guy can hit the ball out of the ballpark at times. And then you look even further down at third base, and you have Drew Ellis. I mean, who is this guy? I mean, really, that's what it really comes down to. This is a nice setup for the Phillies going into the distance.
Yeah, can you tell, though? We always want to know about consistency. We always want to know about future prospects. Can you tell if this guy's
Hold on.
good enough?
No, you don't.
You mentioned Wally Pitt, not me.
Right, but I said it in jest.
Yeah.
But
okay.
The way I look at this is if these guys are giving you any kind of production, I think it's always a bonus. That's what you look for. You look for the bonus production. Where are you getting it from? Cody Clemens has been very good. I brought that up. I thought he swung the bat nicely. He's played a really good first base on top of it. He made a couple plays in the hole today that were really nice plays, and he made the throws over to first base. That, to me, is something that goes unnoticed, but it should be noticed. And you got to love what these 2 guys have done right now, and I think they're only helping the ball club. And what I mean by, in the future, that means, if a guy needs a little bit of a rest, hey, we got somebody on the bench that could take over the spot. At times, we have looked at this bench and said, where are they?
Yeah, and to have that confidence in the bench and the depth is invaluable. Here's Rob Thomson, post-game in Washington.
Drew Ellis, making you look like a genius with that stuff.
Yeah, ever since, and everybody on the minor league side recommended him. Sam Fold, the staff at Lehigh Valley, and they said he's got great approach, and he really does. I mean, it's very quiet. It's real short stroke. He doesn't panic. He doesn't chase. He's good about.
How important do you think it is for a guy who's like new to a team, new to an organization, to come up and produce like that right away?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it kind of gets him sort of comfortable with the club and shows his teammates that he can do something, and he has. It's been really good, and he's played good defense too.
It's good to see June Schwarber show up again.
Yeah, Schwarber, Ellis, JT. It's a good day all together. I mean, our bats have been getting better every day, so that's good. I think we have 7 walks, 14 hits.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
The first time in May when you moved Schwarber back up top, he had the hitless streak, and now it seems to be productive. I mean, just what do you like about him in that spot, and do you think that that's going to remain consistent based on the way these last couple of games have gone?
Yeah, I mean, based on the history, it should be consistent, but you never know. But I just like the fact that he walks, he gets on base at a fairly good rate, and he hits homers. And when he walks the plate in the first inning, that pitcher that's starting the game has to be aware and alive. So, and he's comfortable there. So, for now, that's where we'll be.
Was there something today with all the guys using the same bat?
I think Harper was using Castellanos' bat.
Okay.
He did it last night, and maybe the night before too.
Is that just like there's a lot of hits in that bat?
Might be, yeah.
Is it hard to? I mean, so Schwarber hit a 3-run homer today, and you guys hadn't had a 3-run homer in since early April. I mean, is that hard to believe? Given
it is. I didn't know that. Yeah. I mean, that's the way it's been going. But hopefully this will get us turned around, and we'll start playing the way we thought we can.
It looked after the 5th in the dugout like Ranger might have been shaking some people's hands. Was he going to go out there back for the 6th anyway, or what was?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what he'd be shaking guys' hands for.
What did you think of his outing?
I thought he was great. I would like to see some more first pitch strikes out of him, but he got 10 ground balls. We turned 2 double plays. We had opportunities to turn 4. I counted 3 or 4 hard hit balls, so he stayed off the barrel. I kept him off balance. I thought he was really good.
What does this series mean to you, considering what happened with the Mets? Pretty much Friday, you scored 7 runs. I mean, you almost won that game too.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's our goal, is to win series, and one day at a time. But And there are going to be times when you go into somebody's ballpark and get swept, but then you got to bounce back. So that's huge for us. But that's the way this group is. I said it all last year. They're resilient. They fight. They have a short memory, and they just keep going.
You have to watch his legs, because sometimes he'll get on those legs and he'll do this little lean down, which means his balance is gone. But what you saw there on that first home run, this is what I liked, because he kind of keeps the back nice and loose, and all of a sudden he saw that pitch coming and his hands got up and into a ready position. He was ready to explode. And basically what he did, he loaded. He saw that pitch coming and just wham. Everything was down straight, head on the baseball, out of the ballpark. The other one is just all about just keeping everything quiet.
Yeah.
He just kind of sat there, he saw it up in his own, got his foot down and just kind of flicked the ball out of the ballpark. It's already an elevated pitch. So with his strength, as long as he barrels that thing, gone.
All right, how much is June and how much is it Washington stinks?
I would probably say a mix, maybe a mix of both, but I'm not even going to go there because June is June. It is what it is. But in his mind, it may be a little different, if you know what I mean. His thought process may change. He might think, it's June, here's where I hit 15 home runs this month. I don't know. I'm not Kyle Schwarber. I'm not in his head. But this fan base seems to think that June is everything.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. I mean,
that's his
come on.
history, too.
Go look on social media right after he hit that second home run. How many June references did you see?
Almost all of them.
Right.
How about Rob Thomson saying that he's going to leave him in the leadoff spot for now? Today was the third straight game. He has led off in other points during the season, but mostly he has batted fifth or sixth or fourth, depending on the game. He's going to leave him leadoff. Do you like that?
Well, the true toying around was with Trey Turner in the leadoff spot. That was the talk at the beginning of the season. It had nothing to do with Bryson Stott. But when you put him in that leadoff spot and then you saw him last night kind of flicking base hit after base hit into the outfield, I think you feel a little bit more comfortable about it. The only problem is that his running. I mean, he really can't run. Let's face it. We watch him try to run every single day. We saw him try to track down that ball in center to left field today, and it took a little while. I mean, the guy's not exactly a sprinter.
Right.
That's for sure. And, that's the only problem people will have. I like the fact that he's getting more at-bats.
Second half of the season, sorry to interrupt. Second half of the season, when you look at Harper playing a position, whether it's first base or right field, he's not DHing anymore. Does Schwarber go in there?
I don't think we're going to see Harper in the outfield this year.
Okay.
I don't. We may see him at first base. I mean, we may see some of that. I think the Phillies would be a little bit careful with him being in the outfield. That's a longer throw, obviously. It's a lot more rehabilitation that you end up having to do at this point during the year. So I don't know. Schwarber could use some rests out there. He could use some DH spots, but when? Where? How?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of question marks going into that.
Kyle Schwarber hitting 2 home runs. Guess who else hit 2 home runs? That would be one Drew Ellis. Let's hear from him in the clubhouse.
Drew, so the other day you talked about how 2 months ago you're sitting on your couch, you weren't sure, what the next step was. Is this kind of surreal? What does this feel like?
It's awesome. Just being able to put a big league uniform on again, it's really special. So I can't thank the people who supported me enough to get to this position. So just keep riding it out and having fun.
And just how important is it for you to come to a new organization, new team, and just be able to have a game like this right away?
Yeah, it's having a game like this is always good. But the guys have been great here so far. They've really welcomed me in. And so we've got a really good team here, and I would expect us to win a lot of ball games.
What has it meant to kind of get sort of the run of playing time that you've gotten so far? I mean, 3 starts this weekend. You got there on the night game the other day, the first day there. What's it meant to you to kind of help you get your feet on the ground a little bit here?
Yeah, I think just getting consistent with that really helps. I talked to Nick quite a bit, and he's helped me out with just ride this wave as long as possible. And a lot of guys have kind of said the same thing, so they've been a really good help, man, and I can't thank them enough.
And so you had, big numbers at AAA. You just seeing the ball really well over this last month, or what's been the key for you?
I just think it's, approach-wise, I trust my work, going out there every day, not trying to do too much, getting a good pitch I can handle, and trying to do some damage. And I think that, I've got some pitches over the plate, and I've been able to put some good swings on it. So hopefully just, keep that going.